the different materials that you'll need for this particular design. So I have got some Qualatex quick link balloons. They come in a pack like this. I think there's 50 in here, and these are the 12-inch polka dot ones. So I'm going to pick out some nice sort of spring Eastery colours from there. I've got this lovely Easter egg foil balloon from Amscan Anagram, and this one is like a egg shape with purple and other different spring-like colours on it. So I'm going to match my quick links and my 5-inch balloons to that. I've got some Semtex 5-inch. These are the 5-inch fashion lilac. Then I've got a 11-inch Qualatex spring lilac, and I've just put some water in that to use it as a weight for my design. And then I've just got some 260Q balloons, again in spring colours, so that I can use these to tie in my foil balloon. And I also might put some little accents of some flowers and things like that onto my design as well. Equipment wise, you're going to need either a air inflator like this one. This one is a Cool Air Professional. I've had this very long time, and it probably could do with replacing, but while it's still working, I'm not going to shell out for another one. I've also got my air hand pump. This is a two-way pump, so when you pump it in or out, it just blows out air both ways. So this makes for inflating latex balloons really quick. If you don't have a electric inflator, you can just use a hand pump. It's not a problem at all, but I would suggest, if you're using a hand pump, to just make sure that you overinflate slightly and let a bit of air out, just to give that balloon a little bit of stretch and a little bit more leeway when you are putting it all together, because you don't want it to pop on you. The first thing that you'll want to do is check which colours of your quick links you're going to use. So I'm just going to open this packet. It's a brand new pack. So we've got yellow, and we've got the orange, and we've got pink. But I think I'm going to stick to just the yellow for my centre of my wobbler today. So what you'll want to do is inflate your quick links. They are 12-inch quick links. I would recommend inflating them fully to 12 inches and then let them down inside of an 11-inch sizer like this one. So this is the Qualatex 11-inch sizer. This comes together in a box construction normally, but I just like to use it as a single sizer. And what I will do when I inflate my quick links is just inflate them to over this size, and then I'll let them down so that they are just touching the inside of this circle, just to make them so they're a little bit more supple and easier to work with. So we're going to inflate those first of all. The next step in our wobbler construction then is to inflate our quick link balloons, as I've just said. And all I'm doing here now is just giving them a little stretch. And this just helps with inflation. You know, like when you were little and you used to see balloon modelers stretch their balloons first. This is what I do as well. So I'm just going to pop that onto my inflator and inflate it to over the 11-inch size. As you can see, it's really snugly fitting inside of that sizing circle, and I'm just going to let it down now so that it goes through the circle easily and just passes through easily. Then I'm just going to tie off the one end of this particular quick link. Next I'm going to grab another one, and I'm just going to inflate it in exactly the same manner that I did with the first. So just again oversize it so that it is going to be bigger than the 11 inches. Just let a little bit of air out so that it passes through that circle again. And now I'm just going to get my other quick link that I've already inflated, and I'm going to use the toggled end, and I'm just going to tie them both together. So it creates like a duplet. So those two are together now. I now need a third one. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing again and just inflate another quick link. Again, it's slightly oversized and sized down into the sizer. And again, I'm just going to tie that on to the toggled end of my other quick link there. The next step then is to grab some 5-inch balloons of your choice. I'm just using these Semtex ones. Get your hand pump and just inflate. I'm using 2 pumps, so one out and one back in, just to make smaller sized ones. They're not going to be fully 5-inch. I just cross them over and tie those next together, and then that makes a duplet. And we're going to need quads for this, so we need 2 sets of 2 to make a quad. Normally I'd cut off the necks, but when I'm doing a wobbler I don't, because I like to use the additional balloon just as a little bit more bulk in between the layers. So I'm just doing 2 pumps on my hand pump, and again cross them over and then just tie them together. And then you'll need 3 sets of these, because they're going to go in between each layer of the quick links that we've already inflated, and you'll see that in just a minute. I'm going to show you. So they go in between each layer here. So we need 2 for in the middle, and then we also need 1 on the top. So I'm going to just do another 2 of those now. One thing I recommend when you're doing balloons for the first time is make sure that you use the balloons that are not pearlised or chrome to start with, because these ones are a lot easier on your hands, especially if you're tying a lot of them in one go. So I would always recommend to new people starting out to start off with a plain fashion type balloon rather than a pearlised one or a chrome one. They do tend to be stiffer and they are more difficult to tie if you're not used to it. So I've got 3 sets now of quads ready to go in between my sections of my quick links, and then I've also got the bigger ones that I've done for the base. So I'm just going to pop those together into quads as well. And if you've watched any of my balloon videos before, when I'm using 5-inch balloons, I normally cut the necks off. But when I'm making a wobbler like this, I don't, because I like to use that as extra reinforcement on my balloon display there. So I'm just going to grab my water weighted 11-inch now. So this is just been filled with water, and it's just going to be used to hold down the display. You could also use sand if you wanted to. So what I'm going to do is just get that, and I'm going to pop it in the centre there, and then I'm just going to tie that now around my quad. This can be a bit tricky if you've not done it before. So that is now inside there. You can see that's tied around the centre of that quad of balloons, and then it's on the bottom there as well. And then what we can do is put that way around, and that is what aids the wobbler to stand up like so. So next what we want to do is get our quick link balloons, and we're going to now tie those onto the base. So you want to get the one that's got the little tie attachment on this end, and you want to wrap it around the 2 sets of balloons. So we're just going to put it into the top here and just tie that up and around those balloons there. And these are pretty tough balloons, they won't rip very easily, so you can be quite rough with it. I'm just going to give it a nice tie off, and I'm just tying a knot underneath here. You won't be able to see it because it's too far into the display. You'll see it once I've done it. So now you've got your quads on the bottom with your first quick link attached in there. So if I just bring this in, you'll be able to see that is tied into that at the bottom there. So now if we pop that on the floor, it's going to stand up, but because these are a bit wobbly, it still won't stand up straight. So we need to put in our quads of 5-inch in between the gaps to make it straight. So that's what we're going to do next. So what we want to do now is just get our quads of our 5-inch balloons, and we're just going to slot them onto each section, and you can see how I've done that just by putting that in between there onto the section. And then all I'm going to do is cross over those 5-inch again a couple of times, and that just makes that nice and sturdy, and it holds that up nicely. I'm going to do that again on the top one. Let me just lie it down so you can see. So there is my quad. I'm just going to slot it into there, and then again cross those over a couple of times just to hold that in between those 4 balloons. Now I need to inflate my big egg with helium so we can put that on the top as well. Now we need to tie a 260Q balloon onto our neck of our foil balloon, and I'm going to use this 260 to help me to apply it onto my wobbler. So all I do is just pop it over the neck, fold the neck over, and then roll the neck as tightly as I can all the way up to the base of that foil balloon. And then what I'm going to do is just tie a knot quite tightly with the 260Q and just pull it as tight as I can without tearing that 260, and then just do another knot for a little bit extra reinforcement. So this type of balloon does have a self-sealing valve on it, so we don't have to worry about the helium escaping from the balloon, and that is tied on there now perfectly to allow us to use that as an attachment as well. So now we've got our large balloon inflated with helium. That's really important because you need the lift of the helium to hold up the wobbler. I'm just going to pop that onto one of these pegs just to hold it down for a minute, just while I put my last quad of balloons on top of the wobbler. So just get your last quad of 5-inch, put them on the top, and you'll need to get the neck of the balloon and just wrap that around that quad, okay, and then that'll be nice and sturdy on the top there. Now we're going to attach our balloon on the top of our wobbler, so just grab the two sides of your 260Q and just pop your balloon in the top of that quad, and then just wrap that 260 around those 5-inch balloons a few times. You need to do it with both sides so that it holds it in. So again, just pull it down as tightly as you can, and it should sit quite flush in between that quad of balloons. Once that's attached, you can just grab your scissors and just cut off that additional 260Q. So there is our finished wobbler. I hope you have enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you have, I'd love to see you again for another one. So don't forget to subscribe. Drop me any questions or comments that you might have down below as well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.